second regular meeting of the Police and Fire Commission to order. Do a roll call. Commissioner Wanzak.
Here.
Commissioner Schaaf.
Here.
Commissioner Boyle-Roloff.
Here.
Commissioner Kepke.
Present.
Let the record show all commissioners are present. You received a copy of the agenda. Any changes or corrections to the agenda?
No.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Roloff.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the agenda's been approved. First item is approval of minutes of the two meetings, both held on July 10th. The first was our regular meeting, and the second was a special meeting to do deliberations. You've had a chance to review the minutes. Any corrections or changes to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schaaf. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Wanzak. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes have been approved. Next item on the agenda is the announcement of the decision from the June 6th and 7th hearing on the statement of charges against Officer Paul Sporl. Please note that pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85, paragraph I sub A, the commission may convene in closed session for purposes of deliberating the case before it. The commission may then reconvene in open session for purposes of announcing its decision on such matter or for such other matters as allowed by law. The first thing I'd like to do while in open session is we've had the testimony, we've had a chance to review the exhibits, had any questions answered, so I would like to formally close the hearing. So is there a motion to formally close the hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wanzak. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Roloff. Any discussion? All those in favor for calling the hearing officially closed? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, unanimous decision, we've closed the hearing.
Mr. Goldheim, we probably should announce that Mr. Macy's on the record, is
Okay.
on the phone, and
Okay.
also our attempts to contact.
For the record, Attorney James Macy of Von Briesen and Roper is joining us by phone. Attorney Bill Redco may join us by phone. He's currently involved in a jury trial. If the trial ends in time, he will join by phone. If not, I'll contact him separately. We've deliberated multiple times on the matter. We have reached a decision. I'd like to request that we go into a very brief closed session to do a final review and make sure everything is in place and we're all in agreement, and then go back into open session to announce that decision. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Roloff,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Shaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show we have unanimous consent to go into closed session. So again, this will only take probably about 5 minutes, so turn goals on. We are back in open session. While in closed session, we just did one final review of our decision statement on the Sporl matter, and assured that everyone was in agreement for that. This was a complex and difficult case. The investigation that preceded the charges took over 8 months. The commission listened to 2 days of testimony, several dozen exhibits, and hours of video interviews. It's clear that Officer Sporl's interview responses changed. The question was whether those changes were based on finding clarity in a clouded memory or the results of efforts to protect his friends accused of reprehensible conduct towards fellow officers. A critical foundation of a police department is trust. Trust that the community has towards the department and its officers, and the trust of the officers and each other to do their jobs in an effective and supporting member of the team. Some members of the department violated that trust as they directed those reprehensible comments and actions noted above towards their fellow officers. When questioned about that conduct, Officer Sporl's responses changed. The district attorney judged that those changes were meant to mislead the investigators and protect his friends. Because of that, he issued what is referred to as a Brady letter, which limits the ability of the department and the county to use Officer Sporl as a witness in court proceedings, and thereby his effectiveness as a police officer. The commission, after careful consideration of all of the evidence presented, concurs that the changes in Officer Sporl's testimony resulted in untruthful statements being made after being directed to be truthful and complete. We thereby issue the following order. The City of Green Bay Board of Police and Fire Commission, upon the entire record of this matter pursuant to Section 62.13, Paragraph 5 of the Wisconsin statutes, hereby determines and orders that as penalty for the misconduct alleged in the statement of charges filed with the board by Police Chief Smith on March 14th, 2018, Officer Paul J. Sporl is discharged from his employment with the City of Green Bay Police Department and terminated effective immediately. So I ask that the HR department work with the police department and Officer Sporl to execute that. This was a unanimous decision by the 4 members of the commission that were in place at the time the hearing commenced and the evidentiary hearing took place. Commissioner Kupke was appointed after those actions, so he felt it was not appropriate for him to be involved in this decision.
Mr. Goldham, President Goldham?
Yes.
Will you see to it, would you want me to see to it that a copy of that decision is sent to both council?
If you would, yes. Thank you. All right, that is the last item on that. Attorney Macy, I'm assuming that you would like to sign off now?
I can sign off, and thank you for letting me participate, and also thank all of you for your service and working on the commission. Thank you.
All right,
Have a good day.
thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, we go into our item E, informational portions. We start with the president's report and then report from the chiefs. I do want to note that we do have copies of the decision and the background with that here available if anyone has an interest in those. Earlier last month, the commission met and made a final determination on a decision concerning the motion to dismiss charges against Captain Todd Lapine. That hearing was set for December. Captain Lapine's attorney filed a motion to dismiss. We held a hearing on that. We denied the motion to dismiss, but we did recognize very valid concerns by Captain Lapine and his attorney in their difficulty in getting discovery documents from the city to prepare their defense. As part of that decision, we requested the police department and their attorney to work more closely with the Lapine team to provide the appropriate information as expeditiously as possible. That concludes my report. We'll move on to the for the police and fire departments. Since we have a lot of police action later on in the agenda, Rob, we'll start with fire.
All right, just a brief update on the status of our probationary firefighters that are now working on the floor.
Thank you.
We review their performance reviews on a regular basis. I just took a look at the latest ones that came in most recently. Their initial reviews were very good, and their current reviews are even better, so they're all doing quite well. Unfortunately, they've been getting many opportunities to use their union skills in recent rash of fires that we've had, but I have personally witnessed them doing really, really good work at those incidents, so very happy to report that they're all doing quite well. Other than that, the 2019 budget cycle is coming up, and we're working on that and are very hopeful that we'll be able to add 2 more firefighter paramedics, which would complete the staffing of Med 7 out at Station 7 on Humboldt Road. Just today, as I was listening to the radio, that unit is, when it is in service, it's going out all the time. So it's a definite need, and we're certainly hopeful to wrap that up this year. The last thing I have is Assistant Chief Chris Eman has announced his pending retirement as of 12/21 of 2018. So the chief has put out a notice looking for interested parties to fill that position, and we'll be working on that coming up here in the next few weeks. So we hope to get a little bit of overlap where we can transition that over, and depending on where that position comes from, it may mean that we utilize the existing battalion chief promotional list. That's all I have.
He was the one that was technology, did he?
Yes. Yep.
Very good. Any other questions? Well, I think that concludes any fire-related items we have, Rob, so thank you for coming.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Chief Smith.
Sir. So, obviously, first and foremost, we look at the crime in the city is down a total of 4%. I send you a note the week and kind of gives you a little outlook of that. One of the things we did is we saw in the end of July, our crime numbers started creeping up a little bit, and that was a concern, so we canceled most of the training that we had in August and redeployed some of our resources to some other areas. Some of our foot beats we changed to where they're working, those overtime foot beats. So I couldn't say that that's everything, but we're down to, we have a reduction of 4% right now, and we're hoping that we can continue to drive that down. A bunch of us attended the funeral yesterday. I think I CC'd you on the note about that. That was a very moving funeral in Milwaukee. We sent our honor guard down there. Our motorcycles came on their own time. Myself and some of the other staff were down there as well. Thousands of officers from across the country, New York, California, Iowa, everywhere were there. Very moving, especially going in the motorcade through the little cities and little towns surrounding Milwaukee. We would stop and be overpasses with hundreds of people, thousands of people lining around. It was really very moving. We had a use of force yesterday that I think I CC'd you on that one as well. Last night it was involving an individual that was high on narcotics that involved a bunch of our officers. Fortunately, no one was hurt. The individual was taken into custody, but it was kind of a long, lengthy deal, and we'll release more information of that after the DA files charges on it. Speaking of complaints, there was a short period of time last week where we had actually 0 complaints pending. All of them were done and completed. And I was going to send a note to everybody and thank you for all your work on that. And then we got a couple complaints in. But they do appear to be very minor in nature, involving some of our detectives. And I think we're going to be cranking those out in the next couple weeks. So I don't anticipate any of those are going to reach your desk. We did a press conference with the Attorney General on what's called smurfing. I don't know if you saw that, but that is where people buy cold capsules, bronchial dilators, and things like that, and use that as a precursor for methamphetamine. And smurfing is when someone recruits a bunch of their pals to do it for them, and knowingly or sometimes unknowingly they're buying 3 or 4 packs of cold packs or whatever the maximum is. I pointed out that in my neighborhood over on the far east side, I find hundreds of these little cold capsule bronchial dilator packs every time I go for a run. I've picked up and brought in for fingerprinting dozens and dozens of them, but there are literally hundreds of them out there. So we did a press conference on that. We're going to do another press conference on some more ways that the Attorney General is going to be here to combat stuff, so he's doing great. Finally, the Wisconsin Chiefs Conference is here in Green Bay next week. The exhibit hall is open for police personnel, public safety personnel on Monday and Tuesday. If you have time and you're downtown at the KI Center, I'm sure they'll let you come in and take a look at everything in there. It's all the latest police equipment. There'll be police chiefs from across the state meeting here for 3 days of conference. I'll be there. Some of our staff, senior staff are going to be there. It should be an interesting time. Usually the Attorney General shows up to say a few words, but if you want to and you're interested in any of the police equipment, swing by the KI Center. If you have trouble getting in, give me a call. I know some of the people that work in the front. They'll make sure we get you in. And we're looking forward to Packer season starting, family night on Saturday, and then next Thursday is the first game, exhibition against the Titans. We're looking forward to that. So it's almost fall. It doesn't feel like it yet, but it's almost here.
What are the hours of that session at the KI?
I think it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, so anytime after 8 you can come. The exhibit hall is open all day. Best time is to go on Monday, later on the day, and end of day Tuesday they start to shut things down, so Monday is the best time to go in there and check it out. So that would conclude my report.
Any questions for the chief?
Just a comment, I was at Cosma, Smalley Center, just for lunch, and they spoke so highly of the police department and the relationship that's been formed, and really felt that they've had such a warm welcome here and appreciated that, so I just
Good.
wanted to share
Oh,
that.
thanks for saying so. We went over there. They had a religious ceremony there that usually blocks up traffic, so we went over there. It was a great opportunity to meet hundreds of people from the Somali community. And then we had the police soccer game last Saturday, and of course it was pouring rain, but we invited the sheriffs, and so it was the police with the Somali community and the Hispanic community against the sheriffs. And so they started off great. The sheriffs, they got some guys with some good physical abilities, but we had a couple of tricks up our sleeve. One was one of our Somali guys was just this really tall, thin guy, but he was a UWGB soccer player who plays in the Somali Soccer League between here and Minnesota. So a couple times it was hilarious to watch. He'd be going, he'd change directions, and the sheriff, who's a very athletic guy would just be waiting for the ball to go over here, and it's already passed him on the other side. It was fantastic. We won 7-5. It was a great game and a great time, so, yeah, it was good. The Police Foundation paid for the barbecue, so we had some folks out there. We did a pastor tacos, carne asada tacos, hot dogs and stuff. It was really, really neat. In the pouring rain, it went good. And the sheriffs were good sports, you know. They started off great. They're really athletic, but, you know, we wore them down and soundly, so it'll be good. But anyway, thank you. Yeah, we work well with them, so.
All right, good. I tried to recruit a couple of Bellevue officers to come over to Green Bay.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't come there. All right, if nothing further for the chief. Our next item is a consideration with possible action on the following communications. First is the budget status report. Like we had about $478.50 last month, it was just physicals and drug screens. And then the spreadsheet shows us at about just under 80% of our spending done to date. Any questions on that? If not, I'll entertain a motion to receive those and place on file. Moved by Commissioner Roloff. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Shaw. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? We'll receive those and place on file. Next is consideration of possible action on a request to approve the monthly bills. You have the bills in your packet. Again, virtually all background, physicals, things of that nature. Going too fast, Jen? Okay. Is there a motion to authorize payment?
So
Moved by Commissioner Wanzak. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Shaw. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor for authorizing payments?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is consideration with possible action on the voluntary removal of patrol officer candidates from the eligibility list. We have I have them here somewhere. We had 4 officers that requested voluntary removal. Candidate Ludke, candidate Hobbs, candidate Wiley, and candidate Christensen. They all either took jobs with other jurisdictions or in one case decided to stay with their current job. So is there a motion to accept those voluntary requests for removal?
No, those were people that we all interviewed and
No, hadn't been interviewed, that they were on the eligibility list.
we had.
So we didn't necessarily interview those yet. Moved by Commissioner Wanzak,
Second?
seconded by Commissioner Roloff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, we'll remove those 4. The next 2 items on the agenda are closed session items, so I'm going to read one closed session statement, but we're going to go into closed session for both of those. Item 4 is consideration with possible action on the review of patrol officer candidate backgrounds, and item 5 concerns interviews with patrol officer candidates. So the commission may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F, Wisconsin statutes, to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.5, paragraph 2, Wisconsin statutes, to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. So again, this is asking for motion to go into closed session on both these items. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wanzak. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Roloff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show we have unanimous consent to go into closed session. We are in closed session. All right, we are back in open session. While in closed session, we interviewed 4 candidates and reviewed the background on 8 candidates. Of those 8, we chose to continue 4 in the hiring process and are rejecting 4 for any further consideration. And that, the only remaining item on the agenda is the time and date of the next meeting. We have a regular schedule, we'll put that on September 6th at 3 p.m. Does that work for folks?
Do we have any interviews before then, or?
we have any
No.
other interviews before?
No background checks being.
We'll go for sure. If we do, we can.
And we don't have any
We can order
hearing,
that, but.
and we don't have any hearing dates set.
Correct. Well, we do in December.
December,
Yes.
nothing before that, okay.
Correct. Right, that'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw,
Second.
second by Commissioner Roloff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Awesome, thank you.